He's from Idaho. He is probably the local favorite. He loves winning, and he loves winning at this track, and now he's on a Kawasaki.
Yeah, and he looked really good in practice. So he's always ridden really well here. And like you said, he's one of the fan favorites. Couple guys, Max Gersten, he's another rider that actually lives here on his second home. So
let's take a look back 1 week ago, Prescott Valley, Arizona. Let's check it out. Let's take a look back at Prescott Valley, Arizona, round number.
Yeah, those front 8 guys are all stacked with. And it was cool to see some Japanese bikes back out here.
But it would be all the #1 rider, the 2-time and defending champion, Tristan Hart, winning Pro Moto #1. Pro Moto #2 at the IRC starting gate, an inverted field that leaves the open hole shot via Chirby's hole shot going to Tim Apole on the 96
But
bike.
look at this #1, Tristan Hart getting through the group the fastest.
But then a rider falls right in front of him on that very first lap. Tristan Hart gets hung up in that traffic.
But one thing, Cody Webb had a bad first moto, which put him on that front gate, and guess what? He took advantage of that.
He got up there, was battling for the lead, would settle for third, but it'd be the one rider making his way through after that, you getting stuck in the traffic. Tristan Hart gets all the way up to second place in Pro Moto #2, but it came all the way down to the wire. Johnny Walker on the Triumph, Tristan Hart on the KTM. It went all the way into the very last corner, and we had a dogfight. He sends it right here in this last corner. Coming up, watch the one rider. He went for it, but comes up just a little bit short at the line. 0.008 seconds between first and second. Up next.
Ryder LeBlanc got a great start, put himself up front.
Destry, last weekend the track was technical. Tonight it's more about rhythm and jumping. Let's take a look at the track. Earlier today, #12, Cooper Abbott went around 1 lap. Let's talk about it right now.
Yeah, as you just talked about, Scotty, it's definitely an easier track, and I wouldn't knots in it and at an angle, so it's going to tie these guys up quite a bit. This is a tougher section. This is a section you'll see a lot of holes. Here, Cooper's throttle steady. Double, the top guys are going to triple. I don't think anybody's going to jump over that, but this is really abrupt. Double, you'll see the good guys, and maybe for a pass, they'll go inside there. This section right here, that's the one time you could take a deep breath on this track. You saw how Cooper just set that up. Well, that's going to leave the door open. This is another technical section. The pros are stepping up, getting in that rock section, carrying momentum, getting the weight back. Another great passing opportunity. This is another section Cooper bunny hops that over and right back into that tough rock section.
That was the lap around. That was Cooper Abbott earlier today on the #12 Kawasaki. So tonight, we are going to see our amateur main events mixed in with 3 of the pro motos. 3 pro motos, that will be how you get the overall tonight. It's like a golf score. You want a low finish, like first is 1 point. You want a low finish by the end of the 3 motos to get the overall win. But at the end of the night, you get 25 points for winning the overall.
Correct, and for the pros, the Moto 2 is the biggest one because we've always talked about inverted start. However you finish, if you finish 16th, you got the first gate pick for Moto 2. So the pros, the fastest guys, are going to be on the back row, and who can get through the pack the quickest, because that's what's going to separate that top guy.
And that very first main event will be the expert final. It will have 14 riders, Destry. Out of those 14 riders, the fastest 6 riders in the expert class will move into the back row of Pro Moto #1.
And there's some really talented riders in there. There's some guys that have been in the top 10 in points and had tough years. I think that's going to be an interesting one. They are going to be starting on that back row, Moto 2, or first Moto, I should say. But there's some really good riders that are going to put on a good show, and they're going to show you how tough this track is. Well, as the night goes on, the pros make these tracks look easier and easier, and I think when we see the novices and all the other riders out there, they're going to show how tough this track is.
Possibly the hardest part of the racetrack tonight is the Rocky Mountain Rock Garden. For more on that, let's throw it down to Erica Allreed to talk about that rock garden.
Off camber and located in a corner, but it's also split into two. On that right leg as they ground their foot into the peg, and that left leg flows freely and dabs lightly on the inside. As a result of this, riders' quads are going to be burning as they exit this section here tonight. But not only is it physically demanding either, once the track gets watered, these rocks are going to get slick. And as traffic increases, it's going to make this section all the more difficult. Because of these factors, it's sure going to have big implications on tonight's racing, guys.
And like you talked about earlier today, Destry, that track, that part of the racetrack is going to be very tough. I saw a lot of people taking the inside. As an amateur rider, though, wouldn't you want to try maybe that outside line?
I think you nailed that perfectly. That outside line is going to be a little slower, but for the non-pros, it's going to be the most consistent line. You can keep your heart rate lower. The pros are going to go in. Have a longer distance to get around that corner.
So we'll keep an eye. Attention to the IRC starting gate. In the gate, it is our expert class. Again, 14 riders from all over the place are lined up. You want to start in that front row if you can, and they raced heat races earlier today, so they earned their starting pick in this one.
Yeah, and then we had Nick Thompson, who won the moto last week at round 1. He was the fastest guy that qualified out of here, and that was the first time he's raced EnduroCross in 3 years. He even got a top 10 in the Pro Moto 1 at round 1, which was pretty impressive.
But now he's got to race his way into that back row of the Pro main event. The top 10 Pro riders are already in Pro Moto number 1, and that is because that's how they finished in the point standings after the first round. So the top 10 get locked in. It might be completely different tomorrow night when we do this again here at Idaho Falls.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys, this is a great experience for them. They might not be title contenders, but there's some younger riders out there. If you can get out there and race with the top guys and even just follow them, don't worry about trying to beat them, learn from them. And right here, they're showing you how tough that inside section is. Look at Ryder LeBlanc. It shows how tough that is. And I think as the water, the dirt drags onto those corners, as Erica talked about, that's going to make it even tougher and tougher.
So the riders that are out there right now are the riders that came out for opening ceremonies. That's why they're still on the racetrack. They're going to clear the track out right now. The experts are locked and loaded in the gate. It's a little extra benefit for these riders that are on the track right now because the track crew did an excellent job changing the racetrack. They were on the track early this morning with practice, and then with heat races for the amateurs, and then the expert heat races, and then we had the pro practice. After that, the track was completely, freshened up, we shall say.
Yeah, and you just mentioned they haven't seen the track in a few hours, so they're taking advantage of that opening ceremony and looking at the dirt, looking how obstacles are, because as the night goes on, the track crew does a great job at removing dirt to the obstacles to slow it down.
All right, first question here on the gate. It's the IRC starting gate. You want to start on the left? You want to start on the right? Where would you start as the 30-second board is up already?
Scotty, this gate pick isn't as important as maybe the next round will be, around 4 and 5. This is still a pretty open spot. So when we watch
round number 2, AMA EnduroCross.
all the riders out there, what we talked about round 1 is just be patient. They're taking the top 6. If you're in the top 3, I can stay a little more calm. If I'm outside that top 6, absolutely I'm going to ride a little more aggressive.
and this race is 4 minutes, and then they throw the white flag. Get your rhythm, calm down a little bit as they make their way to this left-hand turn. This is maybe the easiest straightaway on the racetrack. There's one single right there, another single long right there. You got just a little bit of time to maybe take a deep breath. You can see these two riders are trying that outside line we just spoke about in the Rocky Mountain Rock Garden.
And that Mark Fernandez, the rider from Spain, he's following right now. It looks like he's being patient and just taking that smoother, consistent line. And I think all these guys are riding very mature right now.
Just stay calm. You have a long race right here. And then if you're in the top 6 spots, you've got to race 3 more times in the 3 Pro Motos. So pace yourself maybe if you're out front.
Coleman Johnson, I think he was one of the riders who went down early. He's been a top 10 rider, and looks like you can actually see his front number plate sitting there at the edge of that log itself.
It is Nick Thompson out front by 1 second, 1.4 seconds at the progressive finish line. Then you got Mark Fernandez, Nico Piazza, who was our intermediate champion last year, moved into the expert ranks. He's running 3rd. Ty Collins, another veteran. I didn't expect him back there in 4th. He struggled a little bit. It's hard to get your rhythm back into a sport that you've been away from.
Yeah, he has been away for a few years. It's really good to see Ty Collins coming back out here. Had some bad luck in round 1. Didn't qualify for the Pro Main. Is definitely capable of making it.
He almost looks like Colton Hager of old with that white bike, the number 10. He's actually listed as a 10X, but Nico is out there in that 3rd spot. Brody Waddell in 5th, and right now Ty Collins has slipped back. He's in jeopardy of not making it into the Pro Main events.
Yeah, you definitely want to try to get into this main, and this is basically your LCQ. So this is the last chance. These guys are getting the first time, the first kind of feel of the track, and I can tell you that other top 10 pros are watching this race and learning their lines and seeing how the dirt looks, how the obstacles are. It doesn't look as slippery as I thought it might.
They did water the racetrack. The split between the lead is pretty close right now. It's 0.844 seconds. They're almost side by side. Nick Thompson has company. Here comes a rider from Barcelona in 2nd, Mark Fernandez. The leader goes down, and Fernandez went right over his legs.
Yeah, there was really nowhere for him to go. I don't think that was dirty by any means. And this kid is a talented kid. Round 1, the first time I got to see him ride in person, and he looks really good on that bike.
And now Ty Collins has slipped out of the transfer spot. He is now in 7th. Coleman Johnson, the 127, is up to the 6th position right now. So we have room for the top 6 to make it into Pro Moto number 1. As we take a look back deeper in the field, right now that is Fernandez. He is the leader.
Nico Piazza, he's one of the youngest kids out here, I believe, and rode really well. First time he made a main was round 1, I should say. Looked really good, getting a little confidence. Riding really well, sitting in 2nd, it shows now.
How cool is that for that youngster, 17 years old, to make his first pro main event in his first going last weekend in Arizona?
Yeah, and I've got to have the opportunity to chat with him quite a bit. And I said, buddy, just use this as an experience. Like, don't have too high of expectations. Go out there and learn from these top guys, and you're going to help yourself. I know at 17 you want it right away, but you don't see any of the top 5, top 7 riders, even teenagers.
Fernandez continues to lead. He's going over the progressive finish line. Right there is your leader. And here comes 2nd. Nico is coming on the 10X bike.
I just want him to be patient. He really doesn't need to win this. Like, no matter what, you're starting on that back row. It doesn't really matter where you start on that back row, but he looks really good right now. I hope he's just patient, not worried about trying to win this.
So the good thing for him is he ran the entire season last year, ran the intermediate as he takes the lead. Here comes Nico Piazza to the lead. He goes around the outside. That might open up the door for the inside, but the 56 isn't quite close enough.
Yeah, and that outside line is actually working better than it did in earlier practice. It looks like he's trying to pick up that pace. And again, they have a pretty nice gap into 6th, or actually 7th, which is the spot you don't want to be in. 6th is that last transfer spot.
There is the white flag. Final lap of our expert final. Up the inside, 56 shoves his way back into the lead. He doesn't want to get beat by a 17-year-old.
I think they want to talk to Erica down on the podium, and I think that's their highlight for them right now.
That's their goal. The leader into this corner right here. They pull the front wheel, turn it sideways, a single jump. You'll see some of the pro riders actually kind of bunny hopping over those obstacles. Right now it's Fernandez, but here comes Nico on the number 10X bike.
Yeah, he might be getting a little tired, but this isn't a bad thing because this is a good warm-up for them. They're going to have 3 motos after probably in 2 more races. The pros are going to be the top 10 are going to be doing the hot laps next, so they got a little time to relax.
There is the checkered flag. Your expert final comes to a close. Mark Fernandez taking the win on the 56 bike. Nico Piazza slides back a little bit on that final lap, number 10X. the youngest rider out there, 17 years of age. He will actually get third as Petrie moves into second there on that last lap. So Piazza had a little bit of trouble. Then you have Nick Thompson on the 575. Anthony Johnson's punches his ticket into the main event on the 521. And we're waiting for the final transfer right now. And there it goes, 127 making it into the final. So Ty Collins comes up one spot short.
I'm above for Ty. Anthony and Coleman, they're brothers, so that's cool to see them both out there.
They have to wait until everybody finishes up before they send them off the racetrack, and then we get to throw it down there and get to hear from the winner, which is the 56 bike of Mark Fernandez. Fernandez, he didn't look like he settled for second place on that 56 bike all the way from Barcelona. He's on the Rieju, a Spanish-built motorcycle as well. So that's pretty cool to have another different brand out there, which will be in the back of this one. Mark Fernandez, your winner. Brandon Petrie, second. Nico Piazza, third. Nick Thompson is fourth. Anthony Johnson, fifth. And Coleman Johnson gets that final transfer spot. The rest of them are done until tomorrow night.
Yep, they're going to go sit in the stands and hopefully learn a little bit to help them out for round 3.
Petrie was in the main events last weekend, got bumped out of the top 10 of the points, but right now he's currently second, so he has raced his way in there. And now let's go down to the third member of our crew. Erica Allreed is with our
game of cat and mouse there. Can you take me through this ride and route to the top?
Honestly, I wasn't feeling very good last week, and this today training, I didn't feel like myself riding, so I think I needed this, also my team. So very happy, and hopefully we can keep the momentum going.
We look forward to seeing you back out there. Job well done.
all the way from Barcelona. He takes the win. When we come back, it will be our pro hot laps. They'll be up next.
Gotta have a lucky charm when you ride, right? Makes you feel safe and protected out there.
That's why I never leave home without a photo of the little ones.
Bracelet from my husband.
Oh, like your rabbit's foot.
Name's Foot.
Well, there's really no need.
One motorcycle insurance got your back.
We're just gonna ignore the fact that Carl has a rabbit. Name's Foot.
At Slavens Racing, we don't chase trends. We chase trails. Testing and tuning with the same parts we carry. Every product we touch is built to go the distance. Slavens Racing. Real riders, real performance.
Kicker. The legacy continues.
At Slavens Racing, we don't chase trends. We chase trails. Testing and tuning with the same parts we carry. Every product we touch is built to go the distance. Slavens Racing. Real riders, real performance.
The 2025 AMA EnduroCross Series is brought to you by Progressive Insurance, EnduroCross's official insurance sponsor and America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Kicker Performance Audio, music. We live and breathe it and make it kick. And by Acerbis, the leader in aftermarket motocross plastics, bike protection, and accessories. And welcome back to Idaho Falls, round number 2 of the AMA EnduroCross season. Man, the expert final was interesting, and now we're setting up for our pro hot laps. It is one rider at a time there, Destry. How hard is it to go out there all by yourself in front of a crowd? It's dark, and now that's light on, all the eyeballs are on you. It's one person at a time.
Yeah, it's something I actually really enjoyed and look forward to, and I'm not a center of attention kind of guy, but it is the one time that you have to be mentally focused, taking some deep breaths before you hit that start-finish line, because you're going to make mistakes, but you can't dwell on those mistakes after you make it. You got to keep looking forward and thinking about the sections before you get to them. A lot of the guys get to a section and they go, oh, I want to go that way. Well, I'm already thinking 1 or 2, 3 sections before that where I want to set up. So visualizing my hot lap is something I really practice a lot, and what these top 10 guys did before this.
We saw a little bit of strategy last weekend. I don't think we'll see as much strategy coming up to start the clock when they head up to that progressive finish line, but they go in backwards order of how the top 10 are in points. So we'll see 10, 9, 8, all the way until the fastest. So we expect the times maybe to get a little bit faster. Who's going to go out there like the 4th rider?
Practice, and at round 1 in Prescott, Arizona, he was off. He had some issues. He was dealing with some things with his bike, but overall, I think coming here, he's in a better place, mindset, and I think there's quite a few riders that are in that situation. So round 2 and 3 back-to-back nights here are really important if you want to have a shot at winning this title, because there's, right now, it's Johnny Walker, Tristan Hart have set themselves apart. Tristan right there, he's going to watch these guys and Johnny Walker. They're sitting next to each other. They're not going to really talk to each other. Well, I say they're not going to talk to each other. Maybe they're talking trash. But they want to learn by these other riders. You know, we talked about Johnny Walker last week and did a great job setting up to go over that start-finish line shoot. And guess what? Everybody after him learned what Johnny Walker did.
And then they all picked up on the little secrets. Every little bit helps for sure. The clock will start when he hits the finish line right there. There's our first rider. It is the 55. That is James Flynn from Post Falls, Idaho. He's riding for IRC and Beta. He's 24 years old, and he's on the clock right now, Destry.
Yeah, he's a more of a hard enduro guy. Arizona guy, too. He lives back 2 different places. He looks really good. First time. Oh!
The flying W right off the bat.
Yeah, we've been there. And what's happening is that dirt is building up when guys are slowing down, and I don't think enough riders have gone yet to where they're freeloading that section to bunny hop over there. He almost got his front end too high where he flipped his rear, which if he would have straightened it, oh my gosh, yeah. You want to get your front end lower there. He did a good job staying low and keeping his feet on the pegs.
Last lap, last corner, there's the checkered flag. There's the time, 40.010. He was one of the riders that was hitting a jump actually earlier right there in that spot of the racetrack. We'll see if anybody does it when it counts. 40.010 for our first rider, the 55 of James Flynn. Up next is number 96, Texas, Tim Apole. He's actually from Germany. He's on the Beta Factory USA team and Chocolate Mountain Ranch. The clock starts for the 96.
And this is his 5th season over here, coming over from Germany. And every year he's building confidence, looking more and more comfortable, and one of the fan favorites also. Likeable guy. Good job in getting his rear wheel down. Try to pivot there. Oh, he wanted to carry that front end a little farther around that corner.
A couple of single jumps right here earlier today. You mentioned they were kind of bunny hopping or pulling the front wheel and then letting the back end put the front end down. Now into the Rocky Mountain Rock Garden. Again, possibly the hardest part of the racetrack.
And I like that line he did there. He took a little smoother line. It's hard to make corners in the rock section. He tried to straighten that out and pivot to the inside of that rock.
And the track is definitely different than it was when they practiced earlier today at 2 o'clock as the checkered flag comes out and Apole goes to the top spot. 39.730. New quick time. It is Texas Tim Apole. 2 betas have gone so far. Up next is number 53 from Utah on the Fantic, the Factory Fantic USA bike. Number 53 was very fast earlier today in practice. That is Braxton Hinsey.
He was 6th fastest, so he looked really good. He's more comfortable on that 2-stroke Fantic, and that's the first year we've seen the Fantics here. And man, they're looking really good on these bikes.
Try to triple up this. Oh, he carried the front end, a little bit different style. Then he could blitz through those rocks right there. A nice lap going so far for Braxton Hinsey. He's only 18 years old, so probably the second youngest of the pro riders.
Yeah, and he last year had a breakthrough year on the gas and transition over to the bike there. Again, see how he's turning in the dirt? That's going to make that transition easier than trying to turn in the rocks.
They hit a double right there, then a triple up over this tire stack. The double, and then some riders are doubling right here. He's choosing to carry the front wheel over. That was very nice. Checker checkered flag is out across the progressive finish line, and new quick time by a long margin. Braxton Hinsey, 3:7.660, an excellent lap.
Yeah, the track's actually faster than it was even at the end of the day practice, because that's what the fastest guys were doing. Tristan Hart, which was the fastest, threw down that time.
Up next from Surprise, Arizona, on the Kawasaki, doing the CM Parts Fox Auto Team, number 12, Cooper Abbott.
I think he's going to throw down. He wants this. He was really not happy. I like how he's going inside. Something we talked about. If you're not going to double that, which you'll see a few riders in it, should you jump?
Oh, no. He tried hitting the triple up to the single and hit the front end. It just had a little bit of spin.
Again, he didn't get the lift he was hoping there. The track just hasn't developed there. Bunny hopped over that.
That was nice. Yeah, very good. Very good recovery right there for the 12 bike. He is on the clock right now. The time to beat is a 3:7.660. That one mistake might cost him quick time so far, but it could be good enough for the top 3. Carrying the front wheel.
I think he's trying to just get on the front row is his biggest thing. He's not going to be happy about that one.
But he's still quick time.
That was
3:7.305, even with that mistake.
Yeah, we both make mistakes, and I definitely made a mistake there too.
He's taking a look at that spot right now. He wants to see what he did. Was it too wet? Was it slippery? Was it looser than it was before? That was a good veteran move right there to stop and look at that racetrack.
Yeah, we talk about a veteran, 3-time champ. This guy, look how he just bunny hopped over that. Staying standing, waiting those pegs. I think you're going to see a couple guys double that. And again, right there, Cody Webb learned what Cooper did. Before those guys were hopping up, but the track is different than what they ran in practice.
On the track from Indian Hills, California, it's Cody Webb. He rides for Rocky Mountain Yamaha, switched over to the Yamaha this year, and he took the shorter line and made it look easy.
Yeah, Cody Webb's going to make things look easier than what they really are. And again, you saw him opening his legs up, not squeezing. That's the line I like right there.
Double, and head up to the finish line, jump right there. And that will be fast time, 3:5.878 for the 3-time champ, Cody Webb, switching over to the Yamaha this year. And he was injured about half of the season last year. He looks really strong here tonight. Struggled a little bit last weekend. Up next, this is the rider that got 5th overall last weekend from New River, Arizona, on the Beta USA Climb Slavens Motors. It is the 15, the Cowboy, Max Gersten.
He's actually an Idaho guy also, so he's living up here, and he's going to be another fan favorite, not just in Arizona, but up here.
That's nice to be having 2 homes, Arizona and Idaho. Get to ride at the best off-road conditions.
Those are 2 beautiful places for sure.
Kind of make a little double out of that, Here comes Cowboy. He tries the outside, and now it goes right through the middle of the first set of rocks.
I think I like that line best because it's the easiest, and it's a pretty darn fast line. Cody Webb did a good job at staying tight, but I like that.
Oh, he was going for a triple right there, I think, maybe.
That might have been. That would have been a big hit, though.
A little bit of something different. Checkered flag is out for the 15. Slots into 4th. The Cowboy Max Gersten, 3:8.848. Good enough for 4th is all, so he won't be happy with that. Now he's just trying to hope he's on that front row pro moto number 1. Up next, it is your local hero out here, the 5-time champion. It is number 10, Colton Haker from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. He rides for Haker Team & Co. on the Kawasaki. Haker's on the clock.
This guy made it exciting last year, that's for sure. Him and Tristan Hart at that finish. There we go.
There you go.
That's
the first time anybody's jumped that.
Most of the time we were playing around with the stopwatch, it wasn't much faster. And again, the risk to reward for me, that isn't a move I would be doing.
Only a couple of guys were doing it. Actually, it was the only 2 that we saw in practice, James Flynn and this young man right here, who goes to the outside of the Rocky Mountain Rock Garden.
Yeah, even that big log, I thought he was looking at preload, no popping over that. Oh, they're not getting the hop that they were getting earlier. A lot of these jumps, they were jumping inside.
He moved the inside corner marker.
He moved that big old tree there.
I like it. It doesn't work when you're outside. The tree is new yesterday. Colton Haker moves up to 2nd, 3:6.403 for the 5-time champ, Colton Haker. He's the winningest active rider right now, the 10 bike. Up next, 3rd last weekend was an excellent run for the Rockstar Husqvarna rider, the 513 from New Florence, Pennsylvania, the 23-year-old Ryder LeBlond.
LeBlond has always had the speed. He just didn't show the consistency, and boy, did he show his consistency last weekend with 2 top 2 moto finishes. And I think he's building confidence, and let's see what he can do tonight.
He has always been a very good jumper, and we'll see if that is a benefit here tonight or not. He's, like you said, he was a little inconsistent in the past. He's getting more and more consistent. Used to these motorcycles, used to these racetracks, and Riley LeBlanc is on the track. The time to beat right now, it is a 3:05.878.
That 350 sounds so nice, too, and he did a great job carrying the momentum over the top. He's really doubled out of that. And that corner right there is really nice.
Went around
a little bit, but I don't think this is going to be bad at all.
There's a nice little rut right there in that last corner. Ryder LeBlanc jumps into that third spot, 3:06.856, guaranteed to be on that front row of moto number 1. Still Cody Webb, the veteran, at the top spot. And the next rider, it is the two-time and defending champion from British Columbia, the Red Bull FMF KTM. The number 1 rider, it is Tristan Hart.
I know Tristan wants this. I asked him some of the things he wants to conquer. Hot laps is one of them. Intensity. He's Mr. Consistent, but he wants a hot lap.
They call him the robot.
He's just so smooth and just consistent, but he wants to show people he has the speed to win hot laps too. There we go. That's what I was wondering if anybody.
Finally, it took 9 riders before the first rider did that. They were doing that in practice.
I think they'll be doing it more and more as the night goes on because that'll build up. But he's looking really solid right now.
Is this good enough to take the top spot?
I do think so.
Into that final corner. Towards the finish line. There it is. Will it be good enough? Tristan Hart to the top spot, 3:05.374. New quick time with 1 rider to go. Tristan Hart's either going to start first or second.
Yeah, and this next guy, I will tell you, last weekend at round 1 in Prescott, it was the best hot lap I've ever seen in person. And he was just pumping the bike like a mountain bike. Like, he was really fluid, staying low to the ground. See him soaking things up here. I'm wondering if he's going to go tight. Oh, he carried momentum. I was curious if he was going to jump it. Yeah, I wouldn't go that wide unless I was going to jump it.
All the way from England on the number 22 Triumph Factory Racing bike of 450. It is Johnny Walker with that red number plate.
Look at him pop over both of those. He's able to carry more speed over that and stay lower, as I was talking about earlier.
He is a red number plate rider because he is our points leader. And you said earlier today, it's the first time Triumph has ever had a red plate in AMA racing.
I think he's our hot lap winner again.
Wow, that was fast. 22 to the top spot, 3:04.567. He does it by almost a full second.
Yeah, and those top 6, 7, 8 guys, 10 guys really, are still going to be a threat. This is a hot lap, but the top 8, Max Gersten and above, are going to be on that front row.
And that's where you want to be. You do not want to give any of the rest of the riders any kind of advantage. So Johnny Walker on the Triumph is our quick time out here in the hot laps. KTM mounted rider Tristan Hart is second. Webb is third. Colton Haker and Ryder LeBlanc on the Husqvarna. So the top 5 different brands of motorcycles out here today. And let's go down and talk to our fast time winner. Johnny Walker is with Eric.
What is it about this solo sprint that allows you
to gather himself, and he was only out there for, what, 34.5 seconds. But that is so hard because a lot of times when you're throwing down and you're out of that comfort zone, we find ourselves holding our breath, and that's what we don't want to do in the main event, though.
In the gate right now, it is our veterans class. That means it's riders 35 years old and older. We got some fast guys out there. Ray Amos on the 78 bike. He won the heat race earlier today, and so did Keith Curtis. There was 2 heat races. Keith Curtis is on the 71. Ray Amos on the 78. Keep your eyes on those 2. Amos sitting second in the points right now coming in. And don't count out the 514, Gavin McCarthy from El Cajon, California. He's third in the points, but got second in his heat race. You got some more notes over there.
Yeah, Bobby Prochnow. We haven't seen Bobby Prochnow racing in 11 years, and he's finished a podium finish at a pro main event in EnduroCross. So he's going to be a big one to watch, too.
And he's from British Columbia. He's 40 years old on the KTM. Destry's talking about the 24 bike. Here we go. It is main event action for the vet class. 4 minutes and 1 lap. The IRC gate drops and 1 gate goes forward. Here's the 199, grabbing the whole shot. That's Eddie Finland. He is 6th in the points. He had a good night going last week and ended up falling off a couple times.
Yeah, he looked really good in one of the other races. Again, now look at that inside. This is what we talk about. I would rather stay lower or staying farther down, staying lower in that rock section and carrying speed, because inside, there's a lot of holes in there.
The 7-11 is up there. Courtney Rich. That is Courtney headed up over the progressive finish line jump right there.
I believe that's Keith
Curtis.
Curtis.
Oh, it's 71, not 711.
And
Okay, that was my bad.
That's a familiar name for a lot of people, especially in the snowmobile world. He's a 9-time King of King world champion for Factory Polaris. So this guy is a well-rounded athlete, really good on a snowmobile and really good on a motorcycle.
And if I'm not mistaken, he won here last year.
I believe he did, and he's a fan favorite. He's an Idaho kind of guy too. People love him here. I know Climb is out this way, so it's cool. Nice family. His wife and kids are here. Chatted with him a little bit earlier.
So they're good, doing things a little bit different. You can see the difference between our pros and our experts who have already ran, single through some of these instead of making a jump. And here comes Wreck-It Ray, throws it up the inside.
Yeah, I didn't know if Ray would go for that, but Wreck-It Ray isn't afraid of sending it. And look at that. That is a cut
that was awesome.
Underneath them.
That was a square off the corner move. That was a motocross move.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
That was sweet. Look at the two different lines through that rock garden.
Look at him pausing. I love that. They're playing mind games, but the downfall with that is Gavin behind them. McCarthy is catching right back up. So they're slowing the pace down, which is actually hurting them because now you're going to let those other guys catch up.
When you're racing against each other, it's actually slowing you down. Here comes Gavin McCarthy, the 514. He's right behind Ray Amos. Again, 71 is your leader, Keith Curtis. It looks like 711 on the number plate. There's also a 711 out there. So 71, 711, but that is your leader right there. It's Keith Curtis headed towards that progressive finish line.
Yeah, I was wondering, Keith's not much of a jumper. He's more of a hard enduro guy too, and he's put in some amazing results with hard enduros. Gavin McCarthy is moving his way up.
That's exactly what I was going to say, that Gavin McCarthy's on the move. He's trying to get by Wreck-It Ray as they go up the stack. Ray's playing a little defense right there.
Yeah, that was defense for sure. He came over on a little bit, which was dirty, and was trying to clean him out. But Gavin McCarthy is our last year's event champion also.
And now Ray Amos has a little bit of breathing room right now. Take a couple of deep breaths as he's put McCarthy back behind him a little ways. Look at Ray go in on the outside, square up the corner, and come out of the rock garden on the inside over there. Nice by Ray Amos on the 78.
Yeah, I really want to see Ray's really impressive. This guy has lost 50 pounds since basically in a year's time. He's put in a lot of work, and I like to see people that dedicate their time to racing or fitness, and it's showing. Before, it was a little tougher. Now his heart rate's staying lower. He's more confident. His body feels better. And it's good to see him doing well.
And it's good that he did that because he's racing several classes out here today. That means a lot of track time, a lot of minutes on the motorcycle. Not just a lot of races, but a lot of minutes because it's 4 minutes plus 1 lap.
This is where it's going to be exciting because the lines that they were taking, the good lines, guess what? Now there's going to be lappers in it. So, again, Keith is doing a great job at weighting the pegs for the most part. Right there, that was really nice. Save energy when you can. If there's a nice, smooth section, go ahead and sit down and take a deep breath. But, man, he looks good right now.
Do you think he knows how big of a lead he has right now?
I would think so. He's smart enough. Yeah, I didn't really glance over there. But he knows what he is. I think that's going to be his big thing.
Doubling over that progressive finish line jump. Still the 71. Keith Curtis in the lead. At the stripe last lap, it was 3.78 seconds. It may have gotten a little bit bigger this lap.
Yeah, look at him looking up, too. He's trying to find those lines. And it's hard because you don't realize before that log to the uphill rock section, you can't see who's up there or where they're at.
And you might not have rode some of these lines in your heat race or in practice, so sometimes it's your first time through some of these lines.
Yeah, we have our class, Cooper and I do, on Friday night with the DA training, and we always tell them, hey, practice other lines. You find guys, they stay in that same line because they get comfortable, and I'm like, well, you need to practice getting outside that main line, and most of these guys do our class, and I always try to focus on getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Honestly, Keith Curtis looks very smooth out there for not riding very often. You know, like you said, he does a lot of snowcross, but you know, a snowmobile is a lot different than a off-road motorcycle.
Yeah, I have never been on a snowmobile being an Arizona boy, but he's
not
got
much need for that.
No, he's a 9-second lead, and he's smart enough and fit enough that I think he's pretty comfortable.
Keith Curtis on the final lap of our vet main event. He is way out in front to 71, showing you what he's got. Ray Amos is back there, almost 10 seconds behind in second. Gavin McCarthy was battling for second for a little while. He's kind of slipped off the pace just a little bit. The leader, one more corner to go, couple more obstacles. There's the white waiting for him. The checkered flag will go up in the air. The vet main event coming to a finish Checkered flag is out. Your buddy taking the win, Keith Curtis.
That's cool. And he doesn't even get to practice this much, but Ray Amos, he's the one who's still trying to go for that championship. Keith's just filling in the ride every now and then. And I think Ray's going to be sitting good and probably a points leader after this round, too.
There is second right there, 78. Ray Amos taking second place here tonight in the vet class, waiting for some. Lap down at least. There's a couple riders, couple laps down. There is the finish order. Keith Curtis taking the win. Ray Amos is second. Gavin McCarthy, it rounds out the podium. Bobby Pornachu, I believe, gets the fourth spot, and fifth is TJ Scrubs. TJ was raced with us quite a few times. He gets up to fifth on that last lap.
Yeah, he's a Northwest guy. He actually does our classes, so TJ keeps getting better in every round.
How about a KTM sweep of the top 5?
That is pretty nice.
All right, let's go down and hear from our winner. Keith Curtis is with Erica.
Keith, no matter the discipline, sleds or bikes, you always seem to find your way to the front. But at one point in that race, you had to work for it.
I did have to work for it. Ray was right there pushing me. I don't do this EnduroCross stuff a lot, so starting to get some arm pump. Lungs were working. It was a great time out there. So fun.
It was so fun to watch that battle as well. Congratulations on this victory, Keith.
When we come back, Pro Moto #1 is up next right here in Idaho Falls.
We come from all walks of life. We don't need a reason to ride, or even a destination. It's not what or where we ride that defines us, because no matter where we're headed, it's what happens along the way that makes us who we are. We may not know where the ride will take us, but one thing's for sure. With the Law Tigers, you never ride alone. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Up next, it is time for Pro Moto. For that, let's go hear from Erica with our Progressive Insurance pre-race report.
This season, Tristan Hart wants to tap into a more aggressive mindset. Up on track. He was surprisingly very Colton Haker in that regard, noting his killer instinct. Of course, as we all know, we refer to Tristan Hart as the robot, the picture of consistency. But with that, he said that this season he really hopes to tap into Colton's fire and keep his trademark composure. He said that oftentimes even he gets bored watching his races back because we always know what we're going to get from him. So I'm curious to see if that fire comes out here in Idaho Falls.
We are about to find out, Erica. It's time for Pro Moto #1. The way they finished up in the hot lap is how the competition is stacked, and now they get to go head-to-head. The first
anywhere on this front gate, you're going to be a whole shot. There isn't one spot that I felt was more better, I guess, but what's going to be the interesting point is going into this log. These 16 riders are all phenomenal racers, and again, they're going to have to pause, and that back row needs to almost give them a little room, because when they hit that log, they're going to want to push into those guys.
So the 30-second board is up. It is time to go. We'll take a look at the IRC starting gate. The one rider, Tristan Hart, he's got fast guys on each of his elbows. You've got to get a good start. Pro Moto number 1 is up next here at Idaho Falls. It's round number 2. The IRC tire starting gate is locked. It's ready. Here we go. The clutches are out. Who's going to get the Atrubi's hole shot? The one rider is side by side with the 513. Here comes Johnny Walker at the inside.
Oh, that's not the top 2 guys are up there, and those are the guys you want to let go quick.
Look how fast they went through the rock guard. They barely skimmed the top of them.
I said these 2 are going to be tough to beat. And look at that smart move. He could have went inside, but he knew he could protect that line and he went farther out to that ball.
Johnny Walker leads them over the progressive finish line. Right now it's Walker, Tristan Hart, Cody Webb is up there in that 3rd spot. Colton Haker and Ryder LeBlanc, look at all the champs are up there near the front. Here comes Webb.
Johnny Walker got a little clip kick there. Luckily, it didn't go over that long.
Johnny Walker on that 450, just kind of dancing through the racetrack, up and over the Rocky Mountain Rock Guard, skimming the top of the rocks. Now a double, a triple into this tire section.
He's so frustrating to watch because he makes it look so easy, and by no means is this easy.
Are you surprised that they're going around that long finish line area instead of jumping over those 2 logs?
Not necessarily, because he doesn't have anybody right on him. He's not, maybe you could save 2/10 by going inside, but again, you're going to waste more energy and your heart rate's going to go up higher. I could be more consistent by doing that. Like, look out there. He went outside to set up for that. He could do that because he has nobody behind him right now.
I was going to say, is he testing maybe for later when he gets into the lap traffic, already thinking ahead?
He's a veteran. You know, he's a multi-time world champion and EnduroCross champion for a reason.
We go back and take a look at 2nd place, Tristan Hart. He's the 2-time and defending champion. He does not like getting 2nd. Johnny Walker's pulling away. Last time by was 2.5 seconds. Here comes 1st, there goes 2nd, and now 3rd is still the big 2 bike of Cody Webb. He looks more comfortable this week than he did last week in Arizona.
He does. He has a nice flow. This isn't as technical as round 1 was, but what's going to happen is this is going to be more closer racing. They're going to have to be more aggressive. You're going to have to send it in on these guys.
Ryder LeBlanc just behind him on the 513, and then the Idaho rider Colton Haker, LeBlanc's former teammate. They're running 4th and 5th, and here comes LeBlanc closing in on Cody Webb, looking for that 3rd position.
Yeah, it looks like Cooper Abbott actually got around Colton Haker also. He doesn't want to let these guys go. Same thing like Tristan Hart. Tristan is a competitor. He actually gets faster as the night goes on, so I'm not going to be surprised if I see him reel him back in.
Johnny Walker continues to lead. Tristan Hart is in 2nd. Webb is 3rd, and there is 4th. The 513 a Ryder LeBlanc. Oh, LeBlanc makes a little bobble right there, similar to what Abbott did in his hot lap.
Yeah, that's before they were jumping up there, but look at Cooper trying to go inside. Again, there's not going to be a lot of mistakes, so those little mistakes are going to cost you. Look like Cooper's going to try to bunny hop that, but again, you're not going to be able to make up that time, but that mistake is going to be costly for you.
Yeah, to spread out the gap between the 513 and the 12 by just a little bit. This is the battle for 4th and 5th, and right behind him, there's the 12. So we're getting a look at another rider. You know, they're getting bunched up back there from 3rd on back a little bit.
Cooper's getting more aggressive. This is what I wanted to see with him in round 1. Was it nerves there? I know he had some issues, but he looks a little more comfortable. Colton Haker, a 5-time champion behind him, setting up a little tighter, so making sure he doesn't bring it in on him.
Again, the leaders way out in front, 22, Johnny Walker at the stripe. He was 4.5 seconds ahead of Tristan Hart. Webb is in 3rd. That's him on the big number 2 on the Yamaha this year. Pulling the front leg come off over right there, and he's just trying to do what he can to keep himself in that 3rd spot. Is he looking back at all? Would you be looking back?
No, they're definitely not looking back. They can look, these hairpin corners, you can see where that next guy is. And I think right now, the first 2 are checking out.
Look
but
at
those
that.
next 4, they're the ones that are going to be battling.
Pull the front wheel, and then at the back end, put the front end down over that log. That was impressive.
Yeah, he does a really good job at using all of his weight and steering with that rear. That's where the power is. That's where the bike is pulling you forward. I don't want more weight on the front end. I want more weight on this rear end.
Lap traffic just ahead for the 22 bike. Down a lap goes Nico Piazza on the 10X. He is in 15th. He raced his way in from that expert final. That is the 22, the leader on the 450 Triumph. The red number plate looks so cool on that Triumph.
It does. Tristan Hart, though, basically was 0.7 faster, so he's closing in on him.
So the blue flag is going out for the riders that they are lapping. That means hold your line. The leader's coming through.
And one thing with Johnny Walker, he's able to take the lines he wants right now. The track isn't as wet as I thought it might be, so right now they're being a little more aggressive and able to hit those lines the way they want.
That's the battle for, no, I'm sorry, that's just second place. Tristan Hart, he's 7 seconds ahead of third, so he's kind of sitting in kind of no man's land right now. He's looking ahead for the leader. He was a little bit faster last lap, and the gap is now 3.4 seconds. He can see Johnny Walker just ahead of him.
And that's a nice feeling when you know you're closing in. Every lap, I have a spot. Okay, I'm catching up a little bit. I'm catching up a little. Guess what? I'm building confidence on that, and that's something. Confidence is huge with these top guys.
And Ryder LeBlanc has dropped down to 6th place. That slides Abbott up to 4th. Colton Haker moves into 5th, so LeBlanc had a bad lap that time.
And look at this. I told you, Tristan Hart, we call him the robot for a reason. Guess what? He's coming. Is this 450 a little bit much for Johnny Walker and maybe fatiguing a little bit? Or is he just making a few more mistakes?
Tristan also has the luxury of having somebody to chase after.
Well put. I actually like that. If I have something to chase after, I'm more confident on that.
Johnny Walker's got company. Here comes Tristan Hart. Tristan Hart on the #1 bike. He wants to retain that #1, but he also wants to win as many motos, as many pro motos as he can.
Yeah, and he can send it a little bit more. Tristan knows he's got a gap, so he can get out of that comfort zone, but Johnny Walker needs to be a little more patient.
Here comes the one. Tristan Hart's going up the inside. Kenny almost made the block right there. White flag is out. What a perfect time to catch the leader.
This reminds me of last year with Colton Haker and Tristan Hart. It's going to come down to the end.
And every race counts. Tristan slides up the inside.
Veteran move.
Walker tries shutting. Oh, Tristan Hart got hung up on that big tire.
Yeah, but he has enough time. He's going to be patient. He's going to have to settle for second now. Again, this is a 3-moto format, so this one moto isn't necessarily the biggest thing.
And why not send it right there? If you have a chance to maybe go in there and block the leader, you're going to go for it.
100%. That was a smart move. I'm not going to look back at that and go, hey, you should have waited, because, hey, he's on the white flag.
Last lap, last corner, the double jump in the progressive finish line. Your winner, 22, Johnny Walker. Get there, little. They do look at each other, but, you know, they still have respect for each other.
They respect each other, and I like the sportsmanship. I'm looking to see where we are at 3rd, 4th.
Oh, Abbott, your son gets up to 3rd. All right.
I'm happy. They both got around Cody Webb. I'm wondering what happened as he dropped down. He had a 47 last lap time, so I wouldn't be surprised if he went down. He definitely made a mistake somewhere.
Everything happens. Every mistake adds up, and it slows you down, and you cannot make a mistake, especially in this pro class, because it is so stacked out here this entire 2025 season. There are the results. 22, Johnny Walker, your winner. Tristan Hart is 2nd. The pair of Kawasaki's 3rd and 4th, with Abbott, Colton Haker. LeBlanc rounds out your top 5. Webb, Nick Thompson, Braxton Hinsey on the Fantic, Max Gersten, and Texas Tim Apole, your top 10. That was pro moto #1. Let's go here from our points leader and moto #1 winner, the 22. That is Johnny Walker with Erica.
Johnny, a hard-fought victory here in Moto 1. How did you stop that hot pursuit of Tristan Hart late in that race?
Yeah, he was riding good, and I was out front, but I couldn't really, see where I was faster, where I was slower, and stuff like that. So tried to just ride my own race, and then got into lappers, made a couple of mistakes, got tired, and then he was there. So yeah, take the win, happy with that. It's going to be a tough night, I think.
I think if that race was any indication of what we're going to see tonight, we're in for a treat. A job well done, Johnny.
The action is heating up out here. When we come back, it'll be time for our novice main event back here in Idaho Falls.
At EnduroCross champion Shelby Turner, we are Enduro Engineering.
At Slavens Racing, we don't chase trends. We chase trails, testing and tuning with the same parts we carry. Every product we touch is built to go the distance. Slavens Racing, real riders, real performance.
Your new bike is officially protected by America's #1 motorcycle insurer. We can now safely go wherever the wind takes us. Let's ride. It was one of those books that smelled bad, but in a good way, you know? Oh, man. Oh.
Didn't think this through, did you?
No. You go without me. The owner and I aren't on speaking terms. Apparently the refills are limited.
more than 50 years, Kicker has been rocking the planet on anything that moves. Kicker, the legacy continues.
At Slavens Racing, we don't chase trends. We chase trails. Testing and tuning with the same parts we carry. Every product we touch is built to go the distance. Slavens Racing. Real riders, real performance.
The 2025 AMA EnduroCross Series is brought to you by IRC Tire, everything moto for two wheels. Rocky Mountain ATV, a leader in the power sports industry for parts, apparel, and accessories since '85. And by Triumph. Triumph has been building high-performance motorcycles since 1902. Back to the Slavens Racing AMA EnduroCross presented by Cross. Up here in the booth is, man, you're a legend. Destin with us. Novice riders are in the gate right now, and check it out. There's a lot of at Prescott Valley, Arizona. I think we're looking at second in the points is here. So is seventh. The 32nd board is up. It's the novice class getting ready to go.
What I like seeing by looking at this list is a lot of Idaho riders, and this is a great area for a lot of off-road racers. Great community, and this is going to be some great racing.
5-second board is up. The IRC starting gate is loaded. Here we go. 16 riders, just like the pro class. They narrowed the field down earlier today. Look at all the KTMs out front.
This is going to be carnage. When I was talking about carnage, it's exciting, but they're not the most patient. They're literally just going to send it and actually make more mistakes, and you're going to see these guys spread out because they're trying to ride over their head, but they actually need to be a little more patient. I worry about the start, and then just, oh, I thought he was going to nose into that, and be a little more patient on this.
So it is hard though. When you're, oh man, he just about went over the handlebars. There goes second, making the big jump. It is Caden Landon, your leader on the 44, and somebody throws it down. We missed it. We heard the crowd as we missed the lead. Oh!
I think that might have been the leader. It looked like he was almost jumping off the track. This is what we talk about. Slow down to go faster. They're stuffing their front end into those logs because they're trying to go so fast. And you have to be more consistent and patient to go fast.
It is so hard as a racer to slow down to go fast.
Yeah, especially as a novice and you're building. This is what is experienced. This rider here, who's that? 58? I can't see that.
56, I believe, 56. Tyler Landon,
yes.
Who was in third at the stripe, but he's out front right now. The early leader's being tended to in that corner after the finish line jump. Here comes the leader going around the logs right here. They've been sitting back there watching the pros. The pros make it look easy. He's not even jumping that double jump because this is the novice class, maybe not quite as much experience in jumping.
And I would rather just, you're not going to make up time. Maybe you make up a little bit of time, but it's going to be all the obstacles where you're making up that time. So you were just talking about Tyler Landon. He actually finished second in the day qualifier and just looks a little more patient than most of the other guys right now.
Tyler Landon, the 56, is leader. Caden Landon is second. Obviously, they're related. Same last name. They probably get the mail at the same place. They're probably brothers.
If I remember right, these two were racing together last year, and they put on a great show, too.
Well, they might not be getting the mail at the same place anymore because they're 20 and 23 years. I hope they're not living together anymore, right?
You know there's a lot of trash talking between these two, though.
Absolutely. Who loses gets to buy dinner, right? Yeah. That's what you do with your brother. Tyler Landon in the lead, Caden Landon second, Carver Grover, the 794, was in third at the stripe last time. Again, a whole bunch of Idaho boys. It is 4 minutes. There's yellow flags waving all the way around the racetrack.
Yeah, this is going to be good. Again, look at the carnage. And now that gives you an idea how big those holes are in between the rocks. Again, the pros just carry so much more momentum and are looser. Good job on keeping his feet on the peg. Get set back up there. And again, I like that outside line. It's just more consistent, especially for this class.
And you know what? This shows the crowd at home right now watching and the people that are in the stands just how hard that track really is. Like you said, the pros make it look so easy.
And the thing is a lot of their buddies that are sitting up there in the stands are like, holy crap, they know how good this guy is.
Oh, yeah.
Goes over the bars there.
Oh, now he gets hung up.
Yeah.
That's the leader.
You got to be patient there. He did a good job at that, though.
Getting it sorted out. The 419 is working his way towards the front. That was actually, it wasn't the leader, that was third. Now the 419 moves into third. That is Ethan Surrey now in that third spot on the 419. The 44, Caden Landon, slides back one spot. The leader still the 56 of Tyler Landon, so the bragging rights between the two brothers right now, first and fourth. It is 4 minutes plus 1 lap. When that clock expires, the flagman throws out the white, and that's the longest lap of the world, right?
You think 4 minutes isn't long? 4 minutes is hard because, again, it's right back to that breathing. We're holding our breath when we're pulling and lifting and pushing the bike and not have a flow, and there's not a lot of flow with EnduroCross. It's what, you know, we talk about the good guys, they make it look easy and flow. Well, this is what most of us look like riding these kind of obstacles.
Exactly. So still the leader, 794. Carver Grover is actually the new leader. 794 is the leader. Tyler Landon, the 56, has slid back to second. So we do have a new leader on the racetrack, 794. That is Carver Grover from Rigby, Idaho, 17 years old, doing it for Grover Enterprises. He is in the lead right now. It's a KTM sweep again. The top 5 spots are KTM's.
And Tyler Landon's only 5 seconds back. When I say only 5 seconds, maybe in some classes, oh, good job on going in there. He did a good job staying tight and staying on the pegs for the most part. But 5 seconds in EnduroCross is not much.
Is he sitting down because he's getting tired, or was that just an instinct to sit down when he got a little out of shape?
I think it's a little bit of both, actually. You know, It's like, that's a tough thing. You want to sit down, but it actually makes it harder. And if you are getting tired, I know that feeling all too well.
There is the white flag. You got to remember to breathe. Take it in. Slow your roll a little bit. 1 more lap to go. The white flag is out at the stripe. He had 5-second lead last time by.
And again, that last corner he just went around, he stood all the way around that. That's a section I would rather sit down there and take a deep breath. And then when I get to the obstacle, especially for these classes, then my butt is off that seat and my weight is back on the pegs.
Novice class coming to a close, 794. Carver Grover, he's only 17 years old. He's a very tall 17-year-old rider, and he is on the home stretch right now. Last time at the stripe, he was ahead by 8.7 seconds. This is where he had trouble. Nobody's gone over that big tire right there,
I
Destry.
actually like that because it's not so, it's actually got a dirt built up to it,
So
and
it's not
more
so
consistent.
rough. Across the progressive finish line, your winner, 794 in the novice class. That is Carver Grover. Did he mess up after the checkered flag?
I was actually wondering the same thing.
Ethan Surrey gets second on the 419. There goes a lap rider. Here comes another rider up and over that finish line. 56 of Tyler Landon wins the battle of the brothers. Tyler Landon, Caden Landon, 3rd and 4th. We'll see if they finish that way tomorrow night when we come back to the exact same facility with a completely different racetrack. Here are the results. Carver Grover, your winner. Ethan Surrey is second. Tyler Landon is third. Caden Landon is fourth. And Tyler Coles rounding out your top 5. KTM's sweep the top 5 positions out here in that novice class. Maxwell Wigan gets up there, gets the highest finishing Husqvarna in 6th. Royce Price, Case Anderson, Clint Treasure, and Conlon Archer, your top 10.
Yeah, I was looking at Kyler Braybeck. He was actually fastest, so he got 1 lap in. I'm curious if he had a bike issue or he actually won his heat race. So I thought he was going to be a guy to watch for sure.
Let's go hear from our novice winner, 794. Carver Grover is with Erica.
Carver, a job well done here tonight. You described that one as gnarly for me. So take me through that one from your perspective.
Yeah, I got out there and all the logs were a lot more dug out than they were this morning. And yeah, I'm just happy I finished without crashing. And I'd like to thank my parents for the opportunities they give me and the opportunity to come here race tonight. And yeah, thank you, Mom and Dad.
A lot to be proud of after that effort. Congratulations.
Great ride for the winner, Carver. When we come back, the competition gets a little bit more experienced. Intermediate main event up next here in Idaho.
We come from walks of life. We don't need a ride or even a destination. It's not what or where we ride that defines us, because no matter where we're headed, it's what happens along the way that makes us who we are. We may not know where the ride will take us, but one thing's for sure. With the Law Tigers, you never ride alone. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, America's motorcycle lawyers.
For more than 50 years, Kicker has been rocking the planet on anything that moves. Kicker, the legacy continues.
Welcome back to the Slavens Racing AMA EnduroCross presented by Progressive Insurance. Up next, it's intermediate class Destry. These riders are going to go pro real soon. Last week's winner is just 13 years old. I bet he can't wait till he goes 14 because that's when you can go pro in AMA EnduroCross.
Yeah, and he's good enough to go pro right now, or at least into the expert class to qualify into the pro main.
Sure.
He doesn't lack experience for being a 13-year-old. When I watched him ride, at round one, he was at the back of the pack, moved himself all the way through the pack to pass Cooper Stevens, who was leading, to take the win. So that was very impressive.
Talking about the 344 Max Eppelman, he is from Germany on the beta. He won his heat race earlier today. The other heat race winner was the 55 of Ben, also from Germany, and he rides for Tim Apole's junior race team. So the two Germans might be here.
Yeah, Cooper Stevens. There's quite a few guys. The intermediate class, this is where there's more experience, still younger riders, but they're riding with a little more aggression. And I like that. Cole Clarkson, number 319 there, he's won the junior championship last year. He's been stepping it up, and anything can happen in this race.
So we'll see possibly some of these riders in the expert ranks next year. It's a hard decision to go from intermediate up to expert, which, you know, as an expert you can qualify to the pro ranks, but we're watching Nico Piazza do the exact same thing. He won the intermediate championship this year. He has raced his way into Pro Moto #1, which is Pro Moto's rest of the night.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one because this is going to be more intense. And maybe not as many mistakes, but they might be pushing each other. So again, we talk about some of these obstacles we want to set up. Well, guess what? That leaves the door open to go over a tire to bring it in. But again, it's going to slow yourself down by doing that.
Intermediate main event is on the IRC starting gate right now. You got to get a great start. Who's going to get the Achirby's hole shot? That is the big pole. That is what they're shooting for right by the very first obstacle. Pull your front wheel, get over that first obstacle, and then focus on the rest of the race.
Yeah, they're going to be watching this gate. RPM's up. Altitude's not as bad. 344. I want to be light with my feet. I want all that weight on that motorcycle.
Watch the 344. He won last week. He grabs the whole shot. The Achirby's whole shot goes to 340.